I didn't see you behind the podium there. That's okay.
Don Pearson. I was just going to speak to you on this about how decisions are made inside the school for positions on what you have on your certificate. But as I look now, I appreciate that you listen. It's something that I would like to take up a little later. But I would like to say, as was quoted, for the people under your care, your teachers, your students, the gentleman, his quote, care for the people under your command. That's what I'm trying to speak to everybody's sense of decency on what to do with some of these teachers that need to be vetted for being non-reappointed. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we'll go back to the agenda speakers. The next one I think I have on the list is Robin Schecter and then Amy Watt. Would you please come up to the podium on each side?
Good evening, Dr. Prannoy, esteemed members of the board. My name is Dr. Robin Schecter. I'm a board-certified dermatologist. I've been living in Palm Beach County for over 20 years. My husband, Dr. James Schecter, is an ER physician at the Veterans Hospital. We have 2 children. One just graduated from Wellington High School in the Fine Arts Academy, and it was a beautiful graduation ceremony, and I really liked your speech, Dr. Prannoy. My son is in middle school at Emerald Cove Middle School. I'm speaking today on behalf of my sisters, Mrs. Stacy Yeager. I know from personal experience, my daughter was in the theater program at Wellington High School, and was not as strong in math. Stacy really helped her to succeed in math. She even did well. I believe she got a B in pre-calculus this year with her help. I'm very involved in the community, travel basketball, and a lot of my friends go to Mrs. Yeager, and she helps all my friends' students with math when they're having difficulty. I'd like to read a letter that was written to Mrs. Yeager from a parent. Dear Mrs. Yeager, you were Matthew's math teacher for the entire 10th grade. I can't believe he will be in 11th grade next semester. Because of you, Matthew has come to love math. You were one of his favorite teachers in the entire school, and he wishes he could have the pleasure of being in your class again for next semester. He told me how wonderful and kind you were, not just to him, but to his classmates as well. You made him feel comfortable and welcome. Your endless positivity made it a joy for him to come to class every day. Because of you, I know he can conquer any difficulty that comes his way. We both know you helped him push through those complex math problems. I believe you've contributed in making him a better and more thoughtful young man. A teacher is a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in students. And you are that teacher. As a parent, you are the ideal teacher that we need to help and encourage our children to fulfill their dreams. I hope that you will continue to teach our children at Palm Beach Central High School. You're a once-in-a-lifetime teacher that will stay with them forever. I wanted to mention also I'm a dermatology residency director. I work with interns, medical students, and residents, and I care about each one of them. I really feel that Mrs. Yeager is an excellent teacher who goes above and beyond for her students and really cares about the success of every one of her students. Please consider reappointing her to Palm Beach Central High School, because if she's not there next year, she will be missed by parents, teachers, and everyone I know in the community that's had her absolutely loves her. Thank you.
I'm sorry, were you Amy Watt or Robin Schecter?
Amy Watt, I know because I'll just say that she was my daughter's favorite teacher at Equestrian Trails Middle.
No, I just needed your name. I'm sorry.
Oh, Dr. Schecter. Amy Watt, Mrs. Amy Watt could not be here because of she wanted me to let you know a dental emergency tonight.
All right, thank you. Lauren Howard and Elizabeth Crowley. If Lauren Howard is okay. Elizabeth Crowley, are you here? Okay, if you go to the other podium, thank you.
Ready? Good evening, Board Chair Barbieri, board members, and Superintendent Prannoy. My name is Lauren Howard, and I have been teaching third grade at the Prannoy Farms Elementary School for the past 2 years. I have been a certified teacher first through sixth grade in the state of Florida for over 20 years. I began my teaching career at New River Middle School in Broward, teaching dropout prevention for a while. I took 14 years off to have 4 children who all attend Palm Beach County Public Schools in District 6. I returned to teaching 5 years ago in the charter system before accepting my position at Prannoy Farms Elementary School. I was reappointed and given no reason for this action. Therefore, I am unable to form a rebuttal for my principal's decision. In 2 short years, I was the third grade team leader, the math cadre representative. I am a certified Google Trailblazer, served on multiple committees, and in my last observation, I was rated highly effective. I am perplexed and dumbfounded by the decision to release me from my position, and I hope to be reinstated without penalty or prejudice. I feel I have been treated unfairly, but I would like to discuss another group of people who are also being treated unfairly. The children who get up in the morning and come to school regularly and behave in class. These children are being cheated out of a quality education by kids who refuse to adhere to behavioral norms. I began this past school year with a room full of behavior issues, which included 7 behavior charts and a directive to fill out each one every 15 to 30 minutes. During this year, I have been cursed at, pencils and papers tossed at my feet, personal items stolen from me, disrespected, pushed by kids who were fighting in class, lies were told about me, and at one point I even had a chair thrown at me. This occurred when I took a computer away from a young man who was watching YouTube instead of doing iReady. I fear that I am being used as a scapegoat for the systematic failures at Prannoy Farms Elementary. However, not one time did I give up on my kids. Not one time. Despite the challenges, I continued to do highly effective work at Prannoy Farms Elementary School. This year, I was not supported by my administration or the students' parents. If you want the students to learn the standards and test proficiently, teachers must be teachers and not referees. Teachers cannot do this alone. I did not become a teacher for the wealth, fame, or accolades. I became a teacher because I have always cared deeply about children. I have done my very best each and every day to help educate my students and lead them down a path towards success. I feel like I've been treated unfairly, and I am begging you to reverse this wrong, remove this scarlet letter, and allow me to return to the classroom and continue teaching. Thank you very much for your time. I am a highly effective teacher and was let go by your school district. Unfortunately, I'm begging to come back.
Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening, Board.
Could you pull that microphone down closer?
Oh, yeah, sure. Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Crowley. I have been a teacher for the district since 2011. I spent this past year at UB Kinsey Elementary. I care deeply about my students. I was formerly a social worker, so and I've been teaching kindergarten and first grade for the last 8 years. Having been a social worker in the past, the social emotional wellness of my students is very important to me, and I try to really address that with the students at my school. I've devoted my entire career, both in social work and teaching, to serving underprivileged students. And I have, in the past 8 years, being a teacher, have always earned a highly effective or effective rating on my evaluations. Earlier this year, there was an incident in my classroom. I was given a reprimand, which had never happened to me ever. So I did take that up and filed a grievance. And since I did take it came here to the district, and they found in my favor. So I thought it was over with. And then until I found out that I was non-reappointed. was devastated. I'm a single parent. I, thought I was going to be a teacher for the rest of, until I retire. So I just felt that it just came from nowhere. I've gone to a lot of interviews. The interviews go great, and then they call my principal. So I'm really hoping to be reinstated at some school, and I really thank you for the opportunity to speak before you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Donny Toriero and Nicole Ba.
Go.
Good evening, board members, and thank you for your time and consideration tonight. My name is Nicole Ba. I have been a teacher for 8 years in Palm Beach County, recently appointed at Crestwood Middle School for the last 2 years. I was highly effective for 5 years and effective for 3. I have always had a passion for teaching and loved sharing my innate abilities in writing and reading with students, and watching them get inspired and truly grow in their own abilities has been my driving force. My mother, Ann Matson, worked for this school district for 18 years and spoke so highly of the district, which led me to believe at that time that leaving the charter I was comfortable at for 5 years was the best move I could make professionally. I am saddened by my experience in the district, however, about never receiving a mentor or guidance about procedures, or even just someone to confide in for all 3 years. My students and parents have always loved me, and I have always been able to maintain a great rapport with them, which, if I'm being honest, has been what's kept me going. My experience at Crestwood was no different. While I felt very alone during my time there professionally, I maintained my morale for the students' sake. I became a teacher to inspire kids, and I really had a passion for that. I feel that the rug was a bit ripped from beneath me, considering I was not told about my non-reappointment status until the very last day of March 14th. If I had known, I would have certainly applied for voluntary transfer. Being labeled as a non-reappointed teacher is a scarlet letter. When I went to a job fair and a principal found out I was non-reappointed, she literally dismissed me by shooing her hand at my face. I feel that this is wrong, considering how passionate I am about this profession and how much time and energy I have put into developing myself and molding myself to be the very best educator that I can be for the students. It has been very discouraging spiritually, and the whole experience makes me feel like I don't belong. And I just can't help but feel that that's just not right. Thank you for your time, and again, your consideration.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Board. My name is Donny Toriero, and I'm a social studies teacher at Polo Park Middle School. I've been substituting at the district since 2016 to 2018. I wanted to find the perfect school that fit me. I graduated from FAU in 2016. I graduated from Rural Palm Beach High School in 2001. I went to Crestwood Middle School, where she taught at. I have been a product of this community and this county for 33 years. I wanted to give back what I could when I went back to college. I was a former business owner, and I always wanted to get back into teaching. Once I graduated from FAU, like I said, I substituted for a year and a half to figure out where I wanted to go, where I fit in. I kept going back to Polo Park because of the teachers that were there, the infrastructure that was set in place, the principals, administration. They always had your back. It was always a welcome smile from the principal whenever she saw you in the morning. I finally was able to take a full-time teaching position over there, and the principal got cancer and had to leave. New principal and administration comes in. We learn everything. Fantastic so far. All my formals and informals were effective, highly effective. I ended up grading out with a effective and highly effective for the school year. I participated in every single event that the school did, chaperoned field trips, parent-teacher softball games. I sat in on my students' basketball games when their parents couldn't be there, children's track meets, softball games, soccer meets, whatever it was, I was always there to help my students whenever their parents couldn't be there, one-on-one basis with about a dozen to 24 of my parents, weekly phone calls, staying late, whatever was needed of my school, because I was asked to and because I know that's what we need to do as teachers. We have to stand and help. We don't do it for the pay. We do it because it's our passion. We love to do it. I was called into my principal's office on May 9th for a non-reappointment out of the blue. I asked my mentor, who was an assistant principal, and the 2 other assistant principals, and they had no idea this was coming down the pipeline. I wasn't given a reason, and I still to this day don't know why. I'm a first-year teacher, and this left a sour taste in my mouth, but I want to do it still. I want to prove to the principal and to my fellow teachers that have been non-reappointed that we can still do this job. I can do this job. First year, second year, 10th year, 20th year, whatever it is, we can do this. I know I can do it. I would like for you guys to please reconsider my non-reappointment so I can prove that I am an effective teacher and a highly effective teacher like my grades and eye observations have proven. Thank you for your time, gentlemen, ladies.
Thank you. Mrs. McQuinn, I understand you've asked for a point of personal privilege. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to preface this with a statement, and then I have a question for Dr. Prannoy. I don't think there's anyone who doesn't recognize that teachers and principals are the backbone of educating our kids. When there is an issue ever of a principal reappointment or demotion, I know that regional superintendents are very involved with that process. That's the statement. Question, Dr. Prannoy. It was our understanding last year when we were in this same situation that particularly in the event of a teacher with an effective or highly effective evaluation, that regional superintendents are personally reviewing all of those non-reappointments. Question, is that the case?
Yeah, as I understand it, when I read the documents, I see the regional superintendents were part of that process, yes.
So follow up to that. As a principal, I have certainly non-reappointed teachers. I haven't always given a reason because I've been advised by legal, not this one, but by legal, that if that non-reappointment for no reason cannot get me in trouble, non-reappointment for a reason could potentially be challenged. And it's up to me as a principal to know if my kids are being educated and treated properly. But I was not allowed to do a non-reappointment without at the time was area, without a regional superintendent reviewing the situation. I'm going to be very comfortable when I know that that process is followed. But I need to know that the regional and or instructional superintendent is not just part of the process, but they are aware of the situation.
I know there's other board members who want to speak on this. This item has been pulled, so if you can wait till we get to P1 and we can all discuss it at that point. Is that okay, Mr.
Yes,
President?
yeah.
Okay. So let me figure out where I'm at. Approve the consent agenda. So, Mrs. Bass, would you please read the items that have already